So MicroStrategy, they've taken a major hit too. But they own more Bitcoin than anybody.
For
So
sure.
does that position themselves to be one of the most valuable companies on earth at some point, or are they a fly by night holding company that soon there'll be a million different holding companies similar to them?
I've said it before. Michael Saylor is the new Cathy Woods. And while I love the strategy, the same way that they took her strategy away from her, they are going to find a way to take his strategy away from him. Brilliant strategy to put, once again, hyper concentration. He didn't do 25% Bitcoin, 25% Cardano, 25% Ethereum. There's a reason why. My only fear is they see the strategy working so well, they're going to find a way to take it away from him. And as you alluded to, you have to look at the competition list. When the government eventually they'll buy Bitcoin at scale and make a reserve in a fund, and because if his ratings go down long enough, Trump's going to find a way to buy Bitcoin and say that all of Americans own it and give a Bitcoin dividend. You have to look. So as Rashad alluded to, they're going to put some other players in that space to compete against him very soon. But great strategy. It's tough, man. It's tough. It's a tough environment.
Yeah.
Going back to what you said about staying silent, I put this on Twitter. Like, if you really love trading and investing, at some point you have to stop talking about it, because then you give too many entries into your ecosystem to give your strategy away. While he's been an amazing advocate for Bitcoin, watch how over the next 2 years they strip it away from him. Because if you own the most valuable asset in the world, allegedly, how is your stock falling when you own more of it than the government does? It makes no sense.
Well, it's because Bitcoin's falling. So
but if he bought it at a great price, why is the stock still falling?
He didn't buy it at a great price though. He bought it. He bought Bitcoin at any price. He's bought Bitcoin at $108,000.
But that's now. He's had the stockpile prior to that.
Yeah, no, I'm saying he bought it. I think his average buying is like around 80,000. But long story short, I mean, I think that he's positioned himself as directly tied to Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes down, then the sentiment of his company has to go down.
Yeah, but so then he keeps purchasing more, right? So then the question becomes, where are they getting the liquidity to purchase more each time?
Well, they're issuing stock shares, they're selling stock, they're borrowing money.
But that's when the stock falls, then that's not going to work long term, right? If the stock keeps falling,
if inflation continues to go up,
and the stock is not falling at the same rate that Bitcoin is falling. It's falling faster
because it's
very interesting.
That's his whole strategy was that it's Bitcoin with more volatility. So that was his strategy, even with traders, is that okay, Bitcoin goes up 10%, MicroStrategy is going to go up 30-25%. That's what he pitched, but the volatility comes with downside volatility as well. So that's Michael Saylor's whole philosophy. Because other than that, it'd be like, why not just buy Bitcoin? So his philosophy is that this allows you to essentially to track Bitcoin, but with more Bitcoins are already extremely volatile. MicroStrategy is even more volatile. So now this gives you, because before you couldn't have option trades on Bitcoin. So at that time it was like, okay, this allows you a trading option for Bitcoin, but now you can. But now it's like even more so of the volatility play. To if you really believe in Bitcoin, now you think Bitcoin going to go up 30%. You have MicroStrategy is going to go up 70%. So, but on the downside, Bitcoin goes down 30%, MicroStrategy goes down 50%.
Yeah, and then in terms of cycling for Bitcoin, right? Like we said, this year, halving was last year. 2 years after halving, we start to see a pullback. If that continues, then the strategy of selling to buy more, it becomes
crumbles.
Yeah, it becomes problematic.
Well, if the cycle continues, this is supposed to be the best year for Bitcoin.
That's what I said. But 2 years, I'm saying.
But you're looking 2 years forward.
Yeah, it's going to be historically it's been a harsh pullback.
I think you buy enough Bitcoin to when essentially you don't just keep buying Bitcoin forever. But I mean, he already holds more Bitcoin than any other entity in the world. So it's like gold, right? Like if you have more gold,
is he number one?
Who's number one?
I don't think he's number. I think he's number. He's in the top 5, but I don't know if he's number. I'll look it up.
No, he's definitely top 3.
Okay, I'll look it up.
But so it's like, okay, you position yourself as the holder of the most valuable asset in the world, then it's just up from there. And if you believe that it's going to continue to go up over the course of time, when it goes to $1 million, and you have hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin, I mean, the world is at your mercy. You can lend Bitcoin out at that point. You can do whatever you really want, whatever you want to do.
Yep.
He's number 5.
Who's the top 5?
Well, Satoshi is obviously 1, but Binance is 2, Grayscale is 3, and BlackRock is 4, and then MicroStrategy.
Top five.
But even that, I mean, I still put him in number 1 because those other ones are brokerage. So those they have Bitcoin, but those is actually brokerage. He's holding Bitcoin as a company, right? That's not a brokerage. So he's just holding his Bitcoin. They buy Bitcoin, they sell the Bitcoin. It's like a revolving door. He's just hoarding Bitcoin.
And, yeah, I got Binance kind of operates in both worlds.
No, they're brokerage.
They're brokerage, but they have their own
brokerage.
They have their own coin, which trades off the bit.
But I'm saying they have to have enough Bitcoin because people buy Bitcoin from them.
Yeah.
Nobody's buying Bitcoin from MicroStrategy.
Right.
So much I want to say, but I'll reserve my commentary 2 years from now. Shout out to Financial Conspiracy.
Where's the U.S. government in all this? I think they're
what's the real story behind the Bitcoin conundrum?
I don't know. Me or mine, I don't know. Wait, come to InvestFest after Hove get off stage.
Is Bitcoin headed to Mike? Well, not Michael Saylor. Tom Lee had a scenario where Bitcoin could go to $5 million. Now, all the stars had to align for that to happen.
Did you ever seen this?
Yeah. So, is Bitcoin? You see Bitcoin ever getting to $5 million?
But
if you watch the clip with Tom, that's if it was a 1-to-1 ratio with the value of gold, and that's not currently there. Could we ever get to 5 million? Hypothetically, maybe like 20 or 30 years from now.